hey friends, get ready, because I may be about to step on your toes. I know I stepped on my own toes, or somebody else did whenever I read this. My toes got stepped on. Do you consider yourself rebellious, or do you see yourself as being in rebellion against God? Because, y'all, I do not want to be in rebellion against God. The sun just came out, so now the lighting is weird. But I was listening to either a video or a podcast, and somebody said something, and I was like, am I in rebellion against God? Because I don't want to be. But, you know, when we pick our own ways over God's ways, we're in rebellion. So let me give you some, this light's so bright. Let me give you some examples. If you refuse to submit to your husband, you're in rebellion. If you refuse to forgive somebody, you're in rebellion. Oh, well, but, you know, they deserved what they got. That's in rebellion. If you go based on, well, I don't feel like God would want me to stay in this marriage. Ooh, that's rebellion. I don't feel like I should have to listen to my husband. That's rebellion. Even if your husband isn't a Christian, unless he's calling you to sin, you are called to submit. Y'all, the bugs. It's driving me nuts. I'm sorry. And so, if you're not, you know, women are to be the keepers of the home. And if I'm not doing a sufficient, I'm not going to say perfect, because we were not called to perfection. We were called to faithfulness. We were called to be faithful, not perfect, okay? But if I am not doing what I need to do, the way I need to do it, at least to the best of my ability, that's rebellion. The bugs are everywhere. So what I want to ask you today is, are there ways where, or places where you feel like maybe you are in rebellion? And because this caught me off guard when I heard this, because I'd never, you know, I struggle with this. This is hard for me. But I never thought of it as being in rebellion. And I think sometimes we do kind of sugarcoat or make light of our choices. And because we do have freedom. But we have freedom to be in rebellion. And that's not going to end well. We don't want to be in rebellion. And so again, I'm looking, if you consider your comfort over your calling. And I've talked before about, you know, if comfort and ease is becoming an idol, you need to be careful, because God did not create us for a life of comfort and ease. He called us for a purpose, and it wasn't for life to be easy or to be comfortable. Quite the opposite. And so don't let ease and comfort be an idol. Whenever you're choosing comfort over your calling, over doing things for the kingdom that might be outside of your comfort zone, that's disobedience. That's rebellion, because you don't want to follow what God has put you here to do. And you know, I think that those are the gist of the things that I wrote down. There are far more, and I can make a more complete video if you would like at some point. If you want to hear more examples of ways we need to check ourselves, because ladies, it is important. It is so important for us, even and especially if we have unbelieving husbands. It is so important that we lead a life as a wife that glorifies, I'm sorry, there was a big giant bird, that glorifies God. And, you know, if we have a husband who's struggling, we need to show them Christ in our lives so that they could be converted into believing because they see the way Jesus is. I'm sorry, y'all, those bugs. And so do your kids look at you and just are in awe of how they see Christ in you? Would they tell their friends what a godly woman their mother is, how loving and kind and generous their mother is, or their wife? Oh, she's so loving and kind and helpful and all the things of a good godly woman. And we're not called to be perfect. We're not called, you know, to be the best of the best. Sorry, the bugs again. But we are called to be faithful and to be committed and to love Christ and to love others and put others ahead of ourselves. That's another thing. Do we think about self-care and self-indulgence at the expense of others? Rest is godly. Rest is biblical. But sometimes we elevate self-care higher than it should be because we're also supposed to think of others more than ourselves. We're to humble ourselves and to serve others. We are called to be a servant, not to be served. And so, on that note, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.